Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
And now it's time to check in on some of the stocks on the move today in Europe. I'm Stephen Carroll and I'm joined by Bloomberg's Chloe Mele for more on this. Chloe, good morning.
Good morning.
So, all eyes on oil prices. We're looking at that situation in Venezuela. How are we seeing the response in oil companies?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit weak. So BP, Shell, Total, Eni, all of them were down this morning on this latest development. So Trump said that Venezuela would send 50 million barrels of oil to the US, which is worth about $2.8 billion. And that announcement sent oil prices falling. And of course, when oil prices are weak, shares in oil companies do tend to follow. It's worth saying that the amount of oil that we're talking about here is fairly insignificant economically, and it will not necessarily meaningfully change the supply in the market. But politically, of course, it is a big move and it has consequences even beyond Venezuela as well. In particular, it is a big blow to China, which is a top buyer of Venezuelan oil and also a really close partner to that country. And it seems that Trump is really trying to kind of tighten that grip on Venezuela. And the administration reportedly demanded that the country reduce its economic ties to China, Russia, Iran and Cuba. And so this is, of course, a situation that's still in flux. There are a few details at the moment on the actual process of sending those barrels to the US. So this is definitely something to keep an eye on and to keep an eye on what it means as well for those oil companies.
Yeah, certainly we'll be monitoring throughout the day as well, particularly as we look at pre-market in the US too. We had a big jump yesterday in Chevron shares. Turning to Sweden next, the industrial company Atlas Copco gaining today. Why?
Yeah, so Atlas Copco is a company that makes things like vacuum solutions and compressors. So on the face of it, that doesn't sound super interesting, but it is a major Swedish industrial company. And if it is doing well, it tells us a lot about the recovery in the industrial sector and where momentum is actually kind of picking up. And so Atlas Copco was just upgraded at Bernstein, with analysts saying that earnings had bottomed and that a rebound was on the way. And this is something that other analysts have flagged as well previously, saying that orders will likely start kind of flowing through again because of manufacturing and construction activity starting to recover. Companies are once again starting to invest in equipment because there is now greater clarity on tariffs. There's more solid demand. Just yesterday we had chip makers moving higher because of an expected recovery in industrial end markets. So this is all really part of the same story of companies kind of growing more confident, wanting to spend their money, and sometimes part of that is that they do need a big industrial compressor, and Atlas Copco will be there to provide that.
Poor Atlas Copco, saying they're not very interesting. There are lots of people out there interested in these compression machines as well.
Yes, I am interested.
We all learned something. I'm just saying. Let's go to the Netherlands next. The parcel locker operator InPost dealing with the delivery of bad news. Shares down 6.5%.
Yeah, yesterday we saw massive gains for that company because it announced a big takeover proposal, and Sky News then reported that the bidder was the private equity firm Advent International, which already owns about 6.5% of InPost, but has been selling a lot of that stake in recent years. And this followed a period for InPost of being one of the most shorted stocks in Europe. But now today, we are, after this massive rally that we saw yesterday, we are seeing a big drop in the shares, and analysts are saying that this was triggered by profit taking after the rally yesterday, and that profit taking might also be because it's still really unclear, really uncertain whether a takeover bid would actually materialize, and so investors are maybe not quite keen to stick around until they figure that out. But there'll be more to follow there, and probably more announcements coming from InPost at some point later down the line.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.